You did everything right. You got the degree. You grinded for the promotion. You are statistically in the top 15% of earners in America. So why does a surprise $400 car repair bill still make your heart race? Why does your checking account look like a crime scene just 4 days after payday? Here is the brutal truth. You aren't poor. You are suffering from insolvent wealth. Most finance channels will tell you to stop buying Starbucks lattes. That is advice for amateurs. That is not why you feel broke. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you a specific number called the freedom ratio. It is the only metric that separates the wealthy from the high-paid poor. Later in this video, I'm going to reveal the exact mathematical kill switch in your brain that actually stops you from building wealth the moment you hit six figures. It is a psychological trap that destroys 90% of high earners. But first, we have to dismantle the lie you tell yourself every single morning when you look in the mirror. Let's rewind the tape. Go back to when you were 22 years old. Maybe you were making $45,000 a year. You were sharing a gritty apartment with two roommates who never did the dishes. You ate frozen pizza because it was efficient, not because it was a choice. You drove a Honda with a permanent rattle in the dashboard and a dent in the bumper that you promised to fix but never did. Back then, you had a singular, burning thought that kept you awake at night. If I could just make $100,000, literally all of my problems would vanish. You believed that six figures was the finish line. You believed that at that income level, the stress would evaporate and you'd finally breathe. Flash forward to today. You hit the number. Maybe you doubled it. You're making the money your younger self dreamed about. But be honest with me, do you feel rich? Or do you just feel busier? The Honda became a leased Audi Q5 because you need safety and reliability for the commute. The frozen pizza became Uber Eats 5 times a week because your time is too valuable to cook. The roommates were replaced by a mortgage in a zip code where the homeowners association fee costs more than your first car payment. The gym membership isn't $20 anymore. It's an Equinox membership you use twice a month. This is the first law of thermodynamic wealth destruction, also known as Parkinson's law of money. Demand always expands to match supply. Your expenses didn't just go up. They swallowed your income whole. But here's the insidious part, the part that makes this trap so hard to escape. You don't feel like you're wasting money. You aren't lighting cigars with $100 bills. You aren't buying Ferraris. You are buying comfort. You are buying convenience. You are buying what a professional at your level is supposed to have. You tell yourself these are investments. The car, that's for professional image. The expensive downtown apartment, that's for networking and reducing commute time. The $20 cocktails, that's social capital. You have built a cage of gold, and you lock the door from the inside. You look at your bank account and you see cash flow. I look at your life and I see liability stacking. Every single pay raise you received over the last decade, you instantly converted into a monthly subscription to a better life. You didn't buy freedom, you bought higher overhead. You didn't buy peace, you bought a more expensive version of stress. And this brings us to the most dangerous metric in personal finance. The entire financial industry wants you to focus on net worth. They want you to look at a spreadsheet that says your house is up 4% and your 401k is growing. Net worth is a vanity metric. It looks great on paper, but it is a liquid. You cannot eat your house. You cannot pay for a sudden medical emergency with your home equity unless you go into more debt. The only metric that matters, the one that determines if you sleep at night, is your survival threshold. Here is the math that hurts. If you make $250,000 a year, but your lifestyle requires $245,000 just to keep the lights on, keep the cars in the driveway, and keep the kids in private school, you are not rich. You are insolvent. You are living on a razor's edge. You are exactly one bad quarterly review, one layoff, or one health crisis away from total ruin. Now stop, right there. If you're nodding your head thinking, okay, I get it, he's going to tell me to budget better, cut out the avocado toast, and brew coffee at home, you have already fallen into the trap. If you think the solution to this problem is saving more pennies, you are missing the point entirely. You cannot coupon your way to wealth when your overhead is $15,000 a month. What I am about to tell you is the fundamental difference between people who have money and people who are wealthy. The problem isn't that you spend too much on small things. The problem is that you have optimized your entire existence for income, not for optionality. Society taught you a linear equation from the moment you entered school. Work harder equals earn more equals buy better stuff. It's a treadmill. You run faster, you get nicer scenery, but you never actually get anywhere. The wealthy, the truly wealthy, not the ones flashing watches on Instagram, operate on an exponential equation. Buy assets equals generate cash flow equals buy time. Let's look at the mathematical reality check. Let's compare two people. Person A is the high flyer. They are a VP at a tech firm. They earn $300,000 a year. To everyone on LinkedIn, they are crushing it. But they spend $290,000 to maintain the image of that success. They have the boat, the vacation home, the private school tuition. Their burn rate is 96%. Person B is the boring guy. They earn $85,000 a year. They drive a 4-year-old Toyota. They spend $40,000 a year. Their burn rate is roughly 47%. Who is richer? Most people say person A. Person A has the stuff. Person A has the status. But let's look at the freedom ratio. This is the number of months you can survive if your income hits zero tomorrow. If both of them lose their jobs on Monday, person A has maybe 3 weeks before panic sets in. In 3 months, they are missing mortgage payments. The bank owns them. Their stress levels are at a constant 10 out of 10 because their lifestyle demands high performance every single day. They cannot rest. They cannot pivot. They cannot take a risk to start a business because the overhead is too heavy to carry. They are a high-paid servant to their own lifestyle. Person B, they have a 50% margin. They can survive for a year or two without working. They can quit their job to learn a new skill. They can tell a toxic boss to go to hell. They can sleep at night. Person B is a free human being. Person A is a slave with a Rolex. This happens because of a glitch in your brain called hedonic adaptation. It is the psychological reason why enough never feels like enough. When you bought that luxury car, your brain released a massive spike of dopamine. You felt successful. You felt powerful. For about 3 weeks. Then your brain normalized it. The heated seats, the premium sound system, the leather, it just became your car. It became your new baseline. But the payment? That didn't normalize. That hits your bank account with the same brutal intensity every single month for 5 or 6 years. You are paying for a happiness you no longer feel. You are paying for a memory of excitement, while the reality is just another bill on autopay. You are chasing an upgrade cycle that has no finish line. The house gets bigger, so you need more furniture. The furniture is nicer, so you need a better cleaning service. The neighborhood is wealthier, so you need better clothes to fit in at the block party. We are going to break this cycle. We are going to destroy the linear equation. But to do that, we need to implement a system that bypasses your willpower entirely. Willpower is a finite resource. You run out of it by 4 p.m. We need a system that works even when you are tired, stressed, and tempted. In exactly 60 seconds, I'm going to give you the 3-bucket protocol. It is the exact framework I use to escape the high earner trap. It allows you to spend guilt-free on what you love, while your net worth grows on autopilot in the background. But before we get to the solution, you need to understand one final enemy. It's called the Diderot effect. It is a psychological chain reaction that is currently draining your account, and you don't even know it's happening right now because it disguises itself as improvement. Let me tell you a story about a French philosopher named Denis Diderot. In the 18th century, he was broke. But then he came into a large sum of money and bought a beautiful scarlet robe. It was magnificent. It was luxurious. But then he looked around his apartment. His old rug looked tattered next to the new robe, so he replaced the rug. Then his wooden chair looked cheap sitting on the new rug, so he bought a leather chair. Then his paintings looked dusty. Within a year, Diderot was in debt again. Why? Because consumption is a chain reaction. This is the Diderot effect. One purchase does not satisfy you, it demands another. You buy the new iPhone. Suddenly, your old headphones aren't compatible or they look outdated. So you buy the AirPods Pro. Then you need the MagSafe charger. Then you need the Apple Watch to complete the ecosystem. You didn't just buy a phone. You signed a contract for a lifestyle overhaul. This is why willpower fails. You are fighting against a psychological domino effect. Every time you upgrade one part of your life, you unintentionally devalue everything else you own. The pressure to match your new standard becomes suffocating. So, how do we cut the chain? How do we stop the bleeding without living like a miser? You don't need more willpower, you need the three-bucket protocol. Most people budget backwards, they do. Income minus expenses equals hopefully some savings. That formula is broken because expenses always expand. We're going to flip the equation. This is reverse budgeting. Bucket number 1 is the fortress. This is your survival cost. Rent, mortgage, utilities, basic groceries, insurance. These are non-negotiables. But here is the rule. The fortress should never, ever exceed 50% of your take-home pay. If it does, you don't have a spending problem, you have a structural problem. You need to downsize or earn more. There is no other math that works. Bucket number 2 is the freedom tax. This is where the magic happens. Before you pay Netflix, before you pay for dinner, before you pay anyone else, you pay your future self. This is 20% of your income, automatically stripped from your account the second it hits. It goes into investments. S&P 500, real estate, Bitcoin, whatever your strategy is. This money does not exist to you. It is gone. It is working for you in the background. Bucket number 3 is the guilt-free zone. This is the remaining 30%. And this is the part that will shock you. I want you to blow this money. Spend every single cent of it. Want the $8 latte? Buy it. Want the weekend trip? Book it. Want the designer shoes? Get them. Why? Because you have already paid for your survival and you have already funded your freedom. The math is done. You don't need to feel guilty about the latte because the latte isn't stealing from your retirement anymore. When you automate the first 2 buckets, you break the Diderot effect. You create an artificial scarcity. You can't upgrade your entire life because the money literally isn't there to do it. You are forcing yourself to live on 80% or 70% of your income, but you won't feel poor. You will feel light. This leads to the final shift, the shift from acting rich to being sovereign. The world is designed to make you an indentured servant to your own status. The banks, the advertisers, the car dealerships, they are all betting on your insecurity. They are betting that you will care more about what your neighbor thinks of your car than you care about your own freedom. Don't take that bet. Real wealth is not the car. Real wealth is the ability to wake up in the morning and say, I can do whatever I want today. Real wealth is the unseen. It's the stress that didn't happen. It's the anxiety you didn't feel when the market crashed. It's the job you didn't have to stay at because you had FU money in the bank. You have a choice today. You can keep playing the status game, a game where the goalposts move every time you score and you never actually win. Or you can decide to become sovereign. You can decide that your peace of mind is more expensive than any luxury item they can sell you. If you are ready to build that fortress, if you are ready to stop bleeding cash and start building an empire of freedom, you need to know exactly where to put that 20% in bucket number 2. You can't just leave it in cash. I've broken down the exact investment allocation strategy for high earners in this video right here. It's not about picking stocks. It's about building a machine that prints freedom. Click here. Stop acting rich. Start getting wealthy. I'll see you there.